Let me start with this warning. This video is not to insult anyone, and it is not to disrespect education. But if you are planning to apply to a university in Brazil next year, especially as an international student, this information can save you years of frustration. Some degrees in Brazil are beautiful on paper, respected in society, but statistically very hard to turn into a stable job. And this is not my opinion. This is based on employment data. According to CNN Brazil and an institute in Brazil called CEMESP, these two information authorities regularly publishes ranking of courses with the highest unemployment and job mismatches. So, they both concluded that when people say a degree is useless, they mean one thing, just one thing. That is, a high percentage of graduates of such degrees are unemployed or working outside their field. Again, all I will be telling you here are based on findings from research. Please don't take it personal. In fact, my own course is fact. And this is not just a Brazil thing. A Canadian labor data from Statistics Canada and OECD, you can check it online, show similar outcomes for the same degrees that I'm going to be mentioning in this video. So I've arranged these degrees into categories, and the first category is humanities. I'm going to be mentioning some courses. So under humanity, history is the first one. Like I say, this is about awareness. It is not about to shade a course, to shade someone. This is not to disrespect education. Education is not a scam. I do not believe belongs to the school of thoughts. I am never in such school of thought that says education is a scam. It is because of education that afford me to be where I am today. I just want us to know that these degrees, they are not so sellable in Brazil in case you want to apply. So according to CNN Brazil, history is consistently among the degrees with the highest unemployment rate in Brazil. Now, I'm starting with history under humanity. Why? It has limited teaching positions. Many graduates of this degree work outside their field. Do your findings online. Now, the second one is philosophy, or in general humanities. I'm really finding it hard to believe that broad humanities degrees show weak direct job linkage. There is high academic value but low immediate labor absorption. So this thing is to be honest, the effect of all these things will not be far-fetched in each society. For example, while I was growing up, I was introduced to history, and this gives me some level of leverage till today, as per knowing some things about my country. An average Gen Z does not know basic history of their state, not to even talk of country. Now, I'm afraid trouble looms. Now, that is not about it. I'm just doing this video for the purpose of awareness. Now, let's go to the second category. I've talked about humanity. The second category is social sciences. And under this category, number one useless degree, according to CNN Brazil and CEMESP, is international relations. CNN Brazil reports that less than 60% of graduates work in related areas. Number one. Two, they say now there is a narrow job market and there is high competition, making it a candidate of useless degree. The third one is sociology or anthropology. In Brazil, statistics data shows social science graduates face higher job mismatches and often require postgraduate training before they can get any meaningful job within this area of study I'm talking about. Many of them ended up in unrelated roles. Now, the next one is going to shock you, and it is social work. Yes, in the UK, some people like to do this course because of its strong social value. But the truth is, it has a fragile labor market. It is largely dependent on public sector hiring, and employment instability is very, very common. Again, this video is about awareness. So in case you are meeting someone that is promising you to get admission in Brazil, and you are applying to any of these courses, so that you can plan yourself strategically. Maybe I have a plan B. Okay. Now I'm going to the third category. And the third category is creative and media degrees. Number one on this category is journalism. Number one on this category is journalism. No, gone are those days when everybody want to be a journalist. While I was in secondary school, I joined the press club. Occasionally, we cast news on the assembly ground with hope of someday casting news on the TV. Now, this was how prestige journalism was to me then. In fact, when I was in university, I was still nursing the dream that one day I'm still going to go back to maybe do a postgraduate study in journalism and all of that. According to CNN Brazil, they report that there is a high declining absorption in traditional media roles. So digital media such as Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, etc. They allow entries without degrees. Before now, you hardly get information except from TV, news, or you just watching TV. And the people that were that anchors all those kind of programs are journalists. So right now, YouTubers, everybody, you can become a YouTuber. You don't need any formal training. So it has watered down the relevance and the job market of this degree. As a matter of fact, almost all the information body, for example, in Nigeria, there is an information institute called Punch. Punch also, they have a channel on YouTube. Okay, so all these digital media houses has watered down the relevance and the job market. The next one, which is related, is communication or liberal arts. So in Brazil, broad communications and liberal studies degrees show weaker job outcomes because it has no clear professional pipeline, and it has high competition. I won't talk more about that because communication and journalism, they are kind of interwoven. They have similarities. Now, the next one is fine arts and music. Fine arts, music, visual arts, or more. These degrees show some of the highest unemployment rates internationally. Check your Google. Most of them that graduate and are working within this area, they do freelance or informal work with no structured labor markets. Okay, I won't talk more beyond that. The next one is fashion design. Oh my God, fashion design. They call it design de moda in Brazil. A news agency in Brazil called Editores do Brasil highlights fashion design as a highly saturated field. Why? You may want to ask. It is because it has few formal positions and has income instability. For example, when you easily get to a company and you see a manager and he has a good profile, it is not usually like that, even in design companies or textile company. Now let's enter into the last category, which is science, because some of you that are in the area of STEM, yeah, help you. Thank God. Now let's go into science. So you think science people will escape it? If I hear, I know this part surprises many people, and the first one under this group is chemistry. Chemistry has been tagged as one of the most useless course in Brazil when it comes to labor market. Many of chemistry graduates work outside chemistry itself, and the industry roles require postgraduate training. For you to get a meaningful role within chemistry, you must have like a postgraduate training. The next one is biology. Yes, biology has few industry positions. I'm talking about biology itself, and there is oversupply of graduates. Go everywhere. Oversupply of graduates of biology everywhere. Okay, so majority of rejected medicine and surgery applicants ended up becoming a biologist. So in fact, I'm one of them. Anyways, if you do a postgraduate degree in the area of biology and you employ some molecular technique or employ computational skills in your research, then it becomes a gold mine. Areas like bioinformatics, computational biology, molecular medicine are gradually having shortage in the labor market. You can search in Indeed. Indeed is one of the most reliable place or website where you can get job in the UK. Go and confirm what I'm talking about. So what I'm giving you, I did not just search, I did not just do a research about Brazil. I also got some statistics that has to do with Canada, statistics that has to do with the UK. Okay, so what I'm telling you is nothing but a verifiable information. Now, most of the NHS jobs requires either of these skills that I mentioned not long, like molecular techniques, your ability to use molecular techniques, computational skills. So hope is not totally lost for people in the area of biology. Now, the next one under science is physics. Employment is mainly limited to teaching. Whoever that does physics, the major employment is teaching and research. And lastly, we have mathematics. I was very surprised when I saw mathematics during my research. You know, this degree promises strong academic relevance, but it has a weak direct labor absorption. In fact, without specialization, it is very, very weak. Now, this is not even a Brazilian problem, like I said. There's an organization in Canada called OECD. They report that pure sciences, humanities, and arts show lower immediate employability worldwide. Both in Canada, UK, and the US, they all show similar trend. Remember that none of these degrees are intellectually useless. Okay, so what I'm talking about in this video is not that they are intellectually useless. We are talking about absorption, them getting a job in the same course after graduation. They produce, in fact, all these courses I've mentioned produce researchers, thinkers, teachers, and creatives. The issue is the labor market, not the discipline. So if you are applying next year, especially as an international student, you must think beyond admission. Your long-time residence in Brazil is dependent on stability, and to a large extent, stability is a young brother to employment and income. Now, knowing the risk early allows better planning. I want you to watch out for the opposite of this video, talking about the degrees with employment outcomes in Brazil. There's no room for capping. I'm going to list all those degrees that if you do them in Brazil, you have higher chances of getting a job quick. And this one is about awareness again. Remember that this video is going to be in two parts. This is part A, so the part B is coming. So it's about awareness. Don't allow any agents push you into commotion. I wanted to share this information with someone planning to come to Brazil. If you find it informative, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button. God bless you. Again, this video is not about sharing my own area. My own course is also included. So it's about awareness, it's about preparation, it's about having right information. I will see you in the next one. Ata Cha cha.